Today we're going to be looking at the closest thing we can probably have to an Xbox handheld.
Meet the ROG Xbox Ally X, the new gaming handheld from Asus that is Xbox themed, meaning you basically have an Xbox in the palm of your hands, right? Well, we'll talk about that after a word from today's sponsor.
Oh my god.
Am I interrupting something?
I just didn't know I was going to have to spend this much money on Windows 11.
Oh, you don't have to pay nearly that much money for a Windows key with today's video sponsor, GVG Mall. GVG Mall is an online marketplace where you can get some great deals on Windows keys, Office licenses, and game codes.
More specifically, you can get Windows 10 and Windows 11, all versions, for super cheap. It's super easy to buy a Windows 10 or Windows 11 license from GVG Mall. All you gotta do is check out with the key, use our special discount code TB20 to save big. And once you get your key electronically sent to you, all you have to do is type in that Windows key and then boom, you have an activated copy of Windows.
We've been using GVG Mall for years to activate all the PCs we have here at the Toasty Bros, and you guys should too. And with great customer support, if you have any issues, you can buy a Windows key from GVG Mall worry-free.
So thanks again to GVG Mall for sponsoring today's video.
Let's get into the video, shall we?
Alright, so here we have the new Asus ROG Xbox Ally X, and it comes with a price tag.
Big price tag of $999. Now, I will say, that's not a crazy price tag compared to the original Ally X, which did come in at a price point of $799, and you could buy it right now for that price point. But this one comes with the new Z2 Extreme processor. It does come with the same amount of RAM and the same size battery as the original Ally X.
Yeah, and of course it does come with some new ergonomics, so not only do we have what looks like an Xbox controller in terms of the grips, we also have a very nice looking screen, and I mean, this thing looks pretty sick, I gotta be honest.
Now, we are gonna be comparing this with the original Ally X, which I do daily drive, and it does have a modified version of an OS on it. It doesn't have Windows anymore. It does have Bazzite installed, so the comparisons might be a little bit different. If you wanna see side-by-side comparisons with Windows, be sure to watch some other creators, because again, launch day, there's gonna be a lot of videos on that. But with the Z2 Extreme, you're really just getting better iGPU performance, which is again a plus, and also the screen is exactly the same. So you're still getting that 1080p 144Hz display that is 7-inch and IPS. Now, what you're probably seeing first time, and you guys will see on screen here, is you are seeing the Xbox experience that it boots into. So the idea of this handheld is they wanted to make it more like SteamOS. They didn't say that outright, but the idea is they wanted to make this more like a console experience, where when you boot on the console, you have a normal interface that is not Windows, because Windows is quite clunky to work with.
It still has Copilot though, don't worry.
Oh, you saw Copilot.
Gaming Copilot. So it's weird because on the box it says Windows 11 Home. So like, you're almost like, am I still just getting normal Windows? But no, this does not quite look like Windows, does it? All right, so we're inside of the ROG Xbox, and yeah, Matt's obviously already gone through and set some stuff up, as we often do for our videos, so that we don't have to spend hours, weeks, days getting this set up. And right now we're inside of the basic like Xbox environment, and you can kind of see we have like an Xbox home button here that does allow us to do some things. We can change settings and whatnot even. We actually have an overlay that we have turned on so we can see everything, just kind of like Bazzite and stuff like that.
Now, if you hit, so the Xbox button is like the main home button that they're advertising. So whatever game you're in, whatever launch, you can hit the Xbox button and come back home to the Xbox interface. Very console-like. They also have, of course, because it's an Asus product, we have Armory Crate. So that is the Armory Crate button, which allows you to customize like power profiles, to just optimize things as you want within there. You can also change the real-time monitoring, brightness. That's just the one that you do for optimization of the hardware. So that button is dedicated as well. And then the other one is just a normal back button that allows you to swap between apps.
And then, you know, one thing I thought was cool is if we swipe, and then it is gonna do like a little bit of a switcheroony, and now, look, it's like Windows 8.1. We're in a tablet interface.
Yeah, and this is the biggest downside, and I will say, when we got our reviewer samples, the models they gave us didn't have this experience initially out of the box, and I will say, my first experience with it was quite negative because of that, because what would happen is it would boot into the desktop environment, and then you had to open the Xbox app, and then once you got into the Xbox app, it was not great. But I'm being told by Asus, when you guys get yours out of the box, it will boot into the Xbox app, no problem whatsoever, so that is a plus, and it does make it where it's much more usable. I've always had issues using Windows with these handhelds because just, I mean, Jackson's trying to navigate here. We're not even connected to Wi-Fi yet. You clicked on the 2.4. Again, navigating
I'm
Windows.
definitely not used to, I do not have one of these.
Well, honestly, to be fair, just anyone using Windows with a handheld is it's
They're all struggling like this?
They all struggle. It is not a great experience. Also, you have that performance overlay that's just stuck over there.
Yeah, but hey, Matt showed me we can move it around.
Yeah, you can move it around, turn it off, whatever you want to do.
I mean, no, this acts just like, I mean, I'm assuming, can you actually hook up? We have USB-C. Can you hook up like a mouse and stuff?
Yeah, let me go over all the ports on this thing. That'd be a good time to do that. All the ports on this handheld are located on the top, so we're gonna go from left to right. First up, we have a USB 4 Type-C with DisplayPort 2.1 and Power Delivery 3.0 and Thunderbolt 4 support, so a very powerful port here. We also have one more USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C with DisplayPort 2.1 and Power Delivery 3.0. We have a volume rocker. We also have a micro SD card slot for expanding storage, a combo headphone jack, and the power button.
Hey, that sounds like some pretty good specs. I mean, it does make sense what you're paying for. I just noticed too, we even have the little extra macro buttons back there. But yeah, no, this is pretty cool. Ergonomic wise, it's good. I mean, the only handheld I have is a Switch 2, and it's not known for having the best ergonomics. So this is definitely a lot better than that. So let's go ahead and go back. So we'll get out of here. Okay, let's minimize that. Swipe down.
I think you have to open the Xbox app again and then go to full screen experience. So basically hit the Xbox app right there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And now it's actually going to restart.
This is part of the experience. But I guess to be fair, most people, you're probably not buying this for work. You're probably not going back and forth from Windows to Xbox. I hope you're not.
I hope you're not. You could be.
So most people, you're probably just going to load up into your Xbox or Steam library and just start gaming.
I will say there's a lot of times I feel like I have to use the touchscreen, which I don't like, because it's cool to have a touchscreen, but when you're having to like constantly hit like little buttons here and there with the touchscreen to navigate, it's kind of annoying, and also the screen starts looking gross like it is right now.
Oh yeah, it's already like covered in like, I would carry a microfiber with me for this.
It does look kind of gross.
But it sucks because it's like, what else can you do unless they add like a trackpad somewhere, but that would not look great.
Because yeah, once it boots into here, it should. This is like the first boot up experience, should go right here into the Xbox app.
Launching
Xbox.
Yeah, it's definitely very much like all the Linux OSs we install. It feels like that, but it's official.
And it has Windows baked in, so then again, you can still play the games that Linux just won't let you play. You can play your Minecraft, Call of Duty, Battlefield. You can play all those games if you want to. But the real thing we're going to focus on today's video, now we've gotten the initial overview done, we talked over the main specs and everything, is show you guys how it compares versus a normal ROG Ally X. As I mentioned in this video, the one I have is a modified version with Bazzite installed. So in theory, it's going to be like best case scenario for that handle because it actually performs better with that operating system versus Windows. So we're just going to see what it looks like performance-wise. It is important to mention that the main improvements we've noticed from the Z2 Extreme to the Z1 Extreme is at the low TDP numbers, meaning when you're running on low wattage, you're getting higher FPS in those lower end games. On the higher end, there is a difference, but it's not that noticeable. But we did already record some benchmarks on the original Ally X that we'll compare against this Xbox version, and we're going to get to gaming and see what it looks like.
We were playing Black Myth Wukong, and this is a demanding game. I mean, it's close to about as demanding as it gets, and if you had told me a couple years ago that I'd be playing Black Myth Wukong in a handheld, I'd be like, no, you're lying. Like, I'd be like, there's just no way I'm getting destroyed by a normal guy.
Don't you love when that happens when you jump into the game for the first time?
Yeah,
you're like, I haven't played this in a bit.
You're just like forgetting how to even... So yeah, we are running like low... I'll show you guys the settings in just a sec. Once I maybe beat this guy or die to him, we'll see.
But just for comparison, while Jackson is playing with that, we did run this on the original Ally X. Once again, we were running Bazzite, running the same settings, which should be 1080p low with FSR set to 66%. But to confirm, I did check the settings before we went into the actual game, which you could leave the game and go to settings if you want to, but I mean, we'll just trust it.
God.
It is on 66%, 66 render scale FSR, no frame gen, running low settings, which... And we're getting about 49, 50 FPS. The old one got about 35 to 40. So we are seeing about a 10 FPS improvement.
Oh, I mean, hey, this is a high-end game and we're getting something. And earlier you mentioned you felt like it was only like lower end, but I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely it is an improvement. And,
I don't think I'd buy, over if you already have one.
Yes. But as you guys can see, and we're going to keep this as real as possible because this is a review, there's just still some weirdness about Windows that even though they try to add this Xbox app in this ecosystem, stuff just happens. Windows just Windows that time, it feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think to an extent handhelds are handhelds. There's just, unless you have like an OS that is only built for a handheld, like Apple iOS, right? Like if it's designed for a touchscreen handheld or something like that, it's gonna make sense. But even things like Bazzite and other stuff like that, they're designed to run a desktop environment as well as a game environment. So not everything's gonna be perfect,
But yeah, first game looking pretty good. We got some other high-end games we're going to test, and then we'll try some lower-end games. A Hollow Knight will be a good one to test that low TDP to see if our FPS will be higher there. But hey, we have some higher-end games, and we can play Battlefield 6 on this, guys. Can you believe that?
I'm transforming! Dude, that's so cool how he goes in.
Okay guys, we are in Ghost of Tsushima, which currently we're running the following settings. We'll go into display. We're running 1080p, FSR set to balance with no frame gen, and we're on very low settings. So again, this is a pretty demanding game, but I mean, we're getting 100 FPS right now. 110 FPS, which means we do have more settings to work with. And I was on Jackson off camera. It's kind of funny. I was using this all weekend, and I got a final Windows update, which they did mention in the reviewer's guide to make sure you get full Windows updates because it allows you to use the setting where the Microsoft app or the Xbox app is actually standalone and goes ahead and disables the desktop environment. I think that's what's helping our performance here. Oh God, I can't see anything here.
That guy said, show me your skill.
Show me that you have skill. Slice. Yeah, come here. Where you at?
Like someone just got like...
Yeah, this is very impressive performance right here. Getting 100 FPS. I mean, we're at 38 watts when compared to... Oh, goodness. Ugh. I'm trying to remember how to play this game. Oh, goodness. I feel like I'm playing Wukong and I'm just like hack and slashing.
You're just spamming.
But this is looking really good. Obviously, we could definitely change the settings up if we want to, but I'm actually pretty happy with these numbers. Can I remember what button to do? I'm gonna shoot this guy and have an arrow. Oh! You know what? Real men don't heal. Just because I don't remember how. Oh, it prompted me. It told me how. Ah, got him. Easy peasy. If you want comparison to the original Ally X, by the way, we were getting 60 FPS, 80 at times at 36 watts. We're at 37 watts getting 100 FPS. So Z2 Extreme is actually a pretty decent uplift in terms of raw performance, and it does get better, as I mentioned, at the lower TDPs, but Ghost of Tsushima looking incredibly playable. This is a game you could definitely take advantage of that high refresh rate display, and it's looking pretty dang snazzy. Now we just need an OLED version. You can charge us $200 more if you want to. $1,200 OLED?
People will pay it.
People will definitely pay it. Let's move on to the next game.
All right, guys, we're testing out Spider-Man 2, and I gotta say, this is looking pretty good. Matt, you wanna tell me what settings we're on?
Because you can't hit the pause button. And again, I'm gonna get clarification from Asus before the video goes live on this, and hopefully I'll have some sort of update on what we can do or what their recommendation is. But 1080p, low settings with FSR set to balanced. On the original Ally X, we were only getting about 30 to 40 FPS, and we were pulling 42 watts. What are we pulling right now?
We're pulling 38.
38, and we're getting more FPS?
Yeah, and our battery's at 85% right now. We're getting about 42 to 50 FPS.
So slightly better, but at a lower wattage too. Again, this one with Bazite was kind of pushing a very extreme power profile because I let it. But this one, again, is just using the built-in Asus power profiles, and 37 watts is kind of the ideal one. And I will say, the progression of handheld, this thing is not that loud at all. Like, you don't really hear any fan going.
I only really hear the game, honestly, and it's not warm. I gotta say though, this looks really good. I mean, small screens are gonna help. Anytime you're running like any lower res, lower settings, the smaller the screen is, the less you're going to know that you're running those lower settings. So to me, this looks like Matt and I are playing in like honestly, on our 32-inch monitor, like about $1,000 PC, honestly. Like, it looks pretty darn good. I've actually never played this before. I kind of enjoy swinging from
That's just the joy. You just swing around all the time.
Yeah, I don't even really want to fight. But I do see a thing to fight. I'm gonna do what Matt always does. We're gonna go find, I see this little red thing. We're gonna go stop some crime.
Stop some crimes.
We're the crime fighters. Evil villains! Why does this guy have 2 machetes? What is wrong with you people? Just use guns like normal Americans. I think I just died. Well,
oh, there's that.
Yep, I've been murked. Well, I gotta say, that was pretty cool. It looks really good. And, you know, I think the biggest takeaway so far is the performance per watt, the FPS per watt. Seems to be just a lot better on the Asus Xbox collab version.
All right, guys, we are now in Hollow Knight. Now, this is a good example of a game that's gonna run just fine on most handhelds. I mean, right now we're getting 200 plus FPS, but the important thing is we're currently running, let's go to the watt settings here. We're currently running on the 13 watt preset, which pretty low wattage. I will say, I don't know if the overlay is just inaccurate or what, or if the game just demands it. Even if I run the 13 watt preset, even on my other handheld, it'll boost up to 20 just because that's what the overlay says it's doing. But the important part is we are getting 200 FPS, and before we were only getting about 150 to 180 FPS. So at these lower wattages is where you start to see the gap between the different handhelds in the Z1 and the Z2 Extreme really start to show itself. You're gonna end up getting much longer game times with higher FPS with the Z2 Extreme versus the Z1 Extreme. And just running around here real quick so you guys can just see the comparison. I think this is really cool because if you are going to invest this kind of money in a handheld versus something like a Steam Deck, which we just did a video on, really awesome handheld for the price, only $400 now after the sale for the base model that you can get. You are going to want to expect some really good performance and better battery life, which is what you will get with this handheld versus something like that. But again, you are going to be spending $600 more, which is a lot of money to put in on it. So this is definitely in the premium class of handhelds. Steam Deck's still the budget entry-level market, but if you really want an awesome handheld gaming experience, so far this has it. But now that we finished Hollow Knight, this ends the comparison with the original Ally X. What we're gonna do is go ahead and load up some other games that normally wouldn't run on the Ally X, specifically some games that have anti-cheat that don't work when I have SteamOS/Bazite installed. Let's see what Battlefield 6 is like.
All right, we are now in Battlefield 6. I didn't think I'd be playing this today on a handheld. I'm really not a controller player in this game either, but we're running low settings with FSR set to, is it performance?
Performance.
Performance. It's looking really good. We are in the highest power profile, the 25 watt turbo mode. 35 watt, right?
Yep, 35 watt.
And we're pulling 44 watts right now.
So yeah, it'll exceed it if it feels like it needs to. And what kind of FPS we getting?
NA.
NA. What about the one on the, well, normally has an in-game FPS overlay.
Oh, I see it.
Can you barely see it? I've noticed some of them, it might just be our early sample. The overlay kind of bugs out. At times it doesn't give you FPS numbers.
I think we're getting like 50, 60?
Yeah, it looks like 56, 60.
I don't know, it says CPU and then there's a number there, so I'm assuming that's not percentage, but FPS. But I'm assuming I can get a kill. I don't expect anything great from this. But it looks really good, like it's performing really well. I feel like I'm on like a really big Xbox controller right now. Oh.
Yeah, this is definitely a joke because it's an extreme processor. Extreme example of a game that you'd play on this handheld, but when you have Windows, as much as I hate Windows on handhelds, you can do stuff like this. So if you want to play this, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will probably run very well when that game officially comes out, because that game runs really well on pretty much anything. If you are primarily a console player and a controller and you want a handheld like this,
this would go good.
This would be really good for you.
I'm just not primarily a, well, I'm not really a controller player at all, so for me it's pretty hard, but I definitely see the appeal. You know, having a little aim assist, a little bit of sit-back action. Can you imagine playing Battlefield on a plane with no headphones? Just full speakers, you know?
Full speakers? Be like,
see if I can get...
Can I get on the airplane Wi-Fi, please?
Let's see if I can get a kill.
Also, shout out Battlefield for optimization, by the way, on your games, because you can actually make this possible on a little APU.
It's running on anything and everything. It's just like Halo back in the day. That's how I remember my game controls. What would Master Chief do? And there's a guy sitting in the room there. I don't know if I'm gonna get a kill, and I'm okay with that, honestly. I'll stick to my keyboard and mouse, but I mean, it looks really good. I like, once again, you know, I talked about Myth Wukong earlier. I wouldn't have believed you a couple years ago. I wouldn't have believed that the newest Battlefield would run on this, and honestly, I bet GTA 6 will run on it.
Let's try Minecraft and then wrap things up.
I bet that will run on it.
All right, guys, we are in Minecraft, and listen to that peaceful music. Hold up one second.
Okay, so we haven't talked about much. They have really good speakers in this thing.
Very good. You got these two front-facing speakers, which sound really nice.
It's smart to have front-facing. I feel like a lot of handhelds, they're like on the bottom or top.
Yeah, so it's really cool that they have the ability to do that. The settings we're currently running, but let's go ahead and scroll down here. Again, this is Bedrock Edition, which this PC Gamer is kind of a sin, I'll be honest to you. But we have 12 chunks, and it's the native 1080p resolution with all the other fun stuff going on here. So
could you run Java Edition since it's Windows if you were to hook up a
yes, you can run. So the reason why I'm running Bedrock,
so you actually use the controller.
Yeah, so I can actually use the controller and get 100 FPS, which is pretty dang good. It looks good. I feel like this would be a fun way to play Minecraft. I mean, I've never actually played it on controller long term though. Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I play on tablets and stuff where you're stuck in the snow.
Oh, no.
The biggest thing that I hate about this, and this is kind of like me being like, I used to walk to school barefoot in the snow, is the crafting is all just like done for you. Like you just pull up like crafting menus and then you just make stuff.
Well, I really just got buried there. But yes, if you did use a keyboard and mouse. You can play Java. It works. It's just this mode, if I actually want to use a controller, Jesus Christ, what am I stuck on?
Yeah, because Minecraft Java never really had like a native controller support.
Nope, never did, which is news to me.
I'm sure there's like kind of cheaty ways of making it work, but I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be native.
But hey, Minecraft, this runs great. I mean, we're at 36 watts, which I mean, you don't necessarily need to be if you want to get maximum battery life, but I think all in all, this is a pretty cool handheld. Is it an upgrade over the Ally X? It is an upgrade over the original one if you are looking to go down that route. It depends. It's debatable if you think it's worthwhile for you to swap from one, but if you have been waiting for your first handheld or you have a Steam Deck and you just want more power and maybe you want Windows, I mean, you could even modify this in the future with a custom OS if you wanted to. This seems like a really worthwhile upgrade, and they've done a pretty good job making Windows much more usable for the handheld space, which is definitely good to see. But now that we finished benchmarking, let's wrap this video up.
So we just got done benchmarking our little Asus ROG Ally that is the Xbox version, and it did pretty good. I mean, $1,000 is definitely a good commitment for a handheld, but this handheld for the right kind of person would probably be a dream come true.
And shout out to Asus for making this much easier to use in Windows. The Xbox app makes it so much more seamless. It still has its Windows problems. It's not perfect, but it is still really cool that we are able to use a Windows handheld in a much more seamless console-like interface, and I guess that's where Xbox comes in, making it more console-like. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the Xbox Ally X? Are you planning on picking one up? Are you upgrading from an existing handheld or buying your first one? Let me know in the comments down below and use those links in the description to pre-order today because I imagine these are going to sell pretty quickly.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
So you can go check out PCBros.tech if you're not really into the handheld life, and believe it or not, if you come in person, we do sometimes have handhelds for sale.
PCBros.tech, if you want a full gaming PC to complement your handheld, or you just want a gaming PC instead, you can do that at PC Bros. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You will save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Bye-bye.